Force back on my phone, yo. Yep, force back to my phone. Because my laptop actually has its mic and the mic is completely destroyed. No idea what the frick happened. And oh boy, just wait what I have to do live streams. Oh my gosh, what the hell. So hopefully maybe down the road, depending on how this week goes, is like this week if by craziness eBay sells, I will most likely have a new headset that apparently is supposed to be for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, but you can use it for PC as well. And now I'm going to try to use that one for that. Thus, problem may be solved. But for now, I have to use this. So anyways, as you guys can see on the title, hopefully the thumbnail is cool. If not, oh, damn it. So anyways, yeah, in the title, it is basically, we're just going to talk about Cinderella 3. Was it called Wrinkle in Time or some kind of crap? Something like that. I had the tagline. So Cinderella 3. For those who don't know, Cinderella got 2 sequels. One was in 2002, and then the other one came in 2007. Now, the one in 2002 will be referenced because it's the one that's totally the dumbest idea known to man. Anyways, Cinderella 3. This is the sequel that I was like, so basically, in this one is the sequel. Like I was saying, this was a sequel that we definitely would deserve. This is the sequel that really sparked my interest when I was like, whoa, you guys really gonna do this? And they did. So congratulations, Cinderella. You got your Return of Jafar. And that's what I label this. This is Return of Jafar, but damn how there's some freaking damn loopholes. So for people who actually don't know, or most likely don't even want to journey into this movie, I'll just give you the gist of it. So here's the crazy part is that for some reason, the fairy godmother is still actually chatting up with Cinderella and Prince Charming. So I think it was a year later. Yeah, weirdly enough, it's like, yep, year later. So a year later, they actually are having this nice little special meetup with her, and it's going to be in the park. Well, not park, sorry. It's going to be in the forest and everything. And of course, while the fairy godmother was using her magic, then as soon as they came, she actually did one more thing to actually give them the outfit that they were, yeah, you know. So somehow the fairy godmother, the wand got out of her hand, and what the frick? I forgot her name. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to go with redhead and raven hair, aka black hair. So the redhead one actually was in the park trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Actually, not really. She was just trying to figure out how Cinderella got stuff, and well, she was like, oh, magic was the key. So she got the magic wand. She was right there as the magic wand was flung to her, and she got it and she ran for it. Meanwhile, of course, sorry, did not even mention this, but the two stepsisters actually had to do all the chores and crap. And well, of course, it's very, very taxing and very bull crap. It is like, I have no idea at all how in the world you guys are dirtying up all those pots that freaking damn fast. Not to mention, who's cooking your food? Of course, most likely it's the two stepsisters, but anyways. So she ran back and she's like, oh, mother, the reason why Cinderella actually did all that is because she had magic on her side, and she showed the magic wand. She's like, oh, a stick. And then eventually she was trying to go bibbidi bobbidi bibbidi bobbidi boo, and then she turned the cat's name is Lucifer? Really? The cat's name is Lucifer? That's the most evil name you could choose. What the fuck? Oh, anyways, so she turned it into a cat goose beast. And then the godmother found her and it's like, hey, sweetie, in the wrong hands, bad things can happen. Let me have it back. And then the moms took it. The evil stepmother took it. And then she was like, oh, well, da-da-ba-da. Oh, actually, no. Before that, redhead actually, my gosh. Oh, Anastasia. That's her name, Anastasia. How the frick did she has the same name as Anastasia, that movie in 1997? How the frick did that work? Anyway, sorry. All right, sorry about that. So the crazy part is that they were having a tussle back and forth on, fairy godmother and Anastasia. They were going back and forth trying to get the wand, and she accidentally used the wand on the fairy godmother, turning her into stone. because she said gnome. Yeah, she's like gnome. So she turned to the stone fairy. Then the stepmother actually took it and was like, okay, well, I'm going to rewind time. And she does that. And now she rewinded all the way back to when the slipper was going to be placed. Actually, they arrived to her house. They go into the house. They's like, I know where Cinderella is. And then, of course, Anastasia's sitting there on the freaking damn chair about to get fitted. And I was like, idiot. Why not use the damn magic wand beforehand and make her feet smaller? Just saying. So instead of that, what happens is that the glass slipper was placed on. They were trying to do it, and then all of a sudden, she used the magic wand, and the glass slipper turned big. Now, the crazy gag in this whole entire movie is the fact that Anastasia had her normal shoe and the glass slipper on this whole entire movie. I personally don't think she's that stupid, but whatever. So yeah, and the evil stepmother she was able to stop Cinderella, saying, no, you're not going to be able to do this. Freak you. Took the glass slipper, shattered it right down, and said, clean that shit up. Sorry for the cussing, if you heard that. Yeah, and then they went to the palace. Now, the crazy part has to be the fact of how the frick, excuse me, stepmother, how the frick can you and her sister go with her to the freaking damn thing? That's pretty damn stupid. I would figure they would just take her and say, yeah, we got your daughter, see ya, and that's it. That's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get is that. But apparently the stepmother was able to bring herself with her daughter somehow. Yeah, so with all that said, so all the crazy hijinks with where it's like this makes it a good movie, where it's like, so Cinderella's gonna try her best to get things back right. First, she actually tried to go to the prince and actually tried to say it was me. It wasn't Anastasia, it was me. But of course, stepmother put a freaking spell on on Prince Charming, making him think it was Anastasia. And also, she actually tried to get the wand from her, but sadly, she didn't. And in the very end, what was happening is that she got banished in the kingdom. Holy frick, right? And of course, in the meantime, you have Anastasia trying to realize something and trying to actually be like, oh, well, because the touch, that's how they were like, it was like the touch. Yeah, because Prince Charming got the touch, and as soon as the touch happened, that's when he knew that he found one. And that's what Anastasia was learning, was that. Now, what's going on even more is the fact of we get to see what happens in between time. When we got to see them get married and stuff, we get to see what was going on between all that, which is a nice touch for me. It's like, wow, that brings some interesting things. And they brought in some new stuff, like the fact of, well, it turns out that Prince Charming's mom could not dance worth a darn. So Anastasia actually captured the heart of the king. Not enough to actually get married, though, of course. Oh, God. Ugh. Okay, so anyways, besides that, so we basically get to the point of Prince Charming was able to get snapped out by a new musical cue from the mice. That's pretty cool. It's like, yeah, there's musical cues in this whole entire movie, too, but the good news is that they're not as cringeworthy as Frozen. Frozen was cringeworthy, and any other stuff was cringeworthy, but Cinderella 3 wasn't cringeworthy at all. I think it was before the cringeworthy crap. So, with that, basically Prince Charming is now racing to save Cinderella. And the crazy part is that the freaking horse, oh my gosh, the horse is so damn funny. The gate was about to be closed down. He's like, it's okay, boy, we can make it. And the horse did it. But then we get to the point of where, yeah, he has to make the jump, and I was figuring he's got to make the jump. So he's going to make a jump to the freaking ship, and instead, this time the horse was so scared that he's like, frick this, I'm stopping, and allow Prince Charming to be flung. And he basically did a freaking John Smith move. So everything is back with the world, and the only messed up part is the stepmother had one more evil card to play. She decided to turn Anastasia into a lookalike of Cinderella, and she took Cinderella, and oh my gosh, that was so freaky. That was freaky as hell, but it's like, wow, this staples even more the fact of, I told you, this is Cinderella's Return of Jafar. It is very, very iconic of that, where she decided to twist and mold the crap that stepmother, I mean, the godmother, the fairy godmother did. Which the fairy godmother actually, papa da boob da vida da boo, when she turned the pumpkin into a carriage and all that. Well, she did the evil version of that, and holy frick, that was crazy. And also, I have to admit, how the frick did her clothes get tethered? But okay, frick it, just for the story's sake. So in the very end, what happens is the confrontation between the fairy godmother. I wish that's the messed up part of this crap. This is number one I have to say about how this could have been a better movie. But anyways, so the evil stepmother was like, okay, fine, frick this crap. I'm gonna just kill you both, or turn you both into toads. And she did that with all the freaking guards. So basically, Prince Charming got no. Actually, Anastasia got in the way and said, "No, you're not going to do this." And yeah, and then after that, Prince Charming actually had his sword and he actually deflected the beam and went into the two. So now the stepmother and the other freaking sister, they're both now screwed. They're now in prison. They actually in prison and they're toads. So Anastasia, what she did is unchanged herself. And after unchanging herself, then she actually gave it to Cinderella, and they were able to free the fairy godmother. Then after that, yeah, that's the big bullcrap. It's like, oh, so it turns out in this movie, which that part is like, what the fuck? Because I really wish they would have just went up the ante on this. Because in Return of Jafar, you had Genie versus Jafar Genie form. This one could have done the same thing, where it's like, oh, the old version of Fairy Godmother is still there. She has her wand, and here is the stepmother with her wand in the future. Hell yeah, let the battles begin. That's how it. It's like, why did you miss that? Why did you miss that? We would have loved to see that freaking damn match, but instead, no, we didn't get that. It turns out if she get frozen in time in the future, she'll get frozen in time even in the past. Meaning, does that mean all the other ones that she did were null and void? It's like there's the issue of, yeah, you kind of screwed yourself on that one. You kind of screwed yourself. So that's basically it. And I think the time didn't get changed. She was like, "Oh, do you want me to turn it back to regular time?" And well, Cinderella and Prince Charming just kissed and that's it. So new timeline. It didn't get fixed. They just kept it like this. And it makes sense because if they would have changed and made things the same way, then that means the fairy godmother and the other evil stepsister would both be free still. Yeah, we want them in prison. We definitely do. So here's just my little nitpicks. Here's just my few little nitpicks. Number one, I mentioned the second one, right? I mentioned the sequel. The sequel was nothing but three short stories. And in one of those short stories, that would make it actually not even care about this freaking movie. But the sequel decided to do one more thing. The sequel put a freaking story about Anastasia finding a love of her life, which is the baker. Yeah, and she got married to the baker. So, Cinderella 3, she's not with the baker. She took a stand and married the baker and said, "Frick you, mother." So that's the first loophole of what the fuck, man. And it would have made it even better was like, oh yeah, we knew that happened. We knew that happened. So we knew that happened. So basically she rewind back time and now Anastasia is in the house with her sister yet again and mother yet again. And she's like, what the fuck happened? Well, one way, actually she would just be a tool. Technically she would actually just be a tool because she would not know. If they're reversing time, that means that she would not know things change and she's destined for someone better, in quotations, something better. Well, not in quotations something better, in quotations someone better. So anyways, yeah, there we go. That's like the two nitpicks of it all. It's like you could have actually had the part of where she, nah, never mind, it fixed itself. But I was thinking the idea of she might have got her daughter back, and her daughter's like, well, mother, I don't want this crap to happen. And or she could actually just been visiting and she's just forced her daughter and be like, hey, listen, you gave me this wand, or your sister found this wand. We're going to kick your ass if you don't freaking do what we say. And it's like, what the freak? The other thing is the fact of, well, you could have written out Anastasia. Am I right? You could have written her out. You could have just said, forget. Of course, technically going back in time, you couldn't really say forget. But on the other hand, you could. I don't know. I would have just said, why couldn't you just involve the other sister? And plus, the main point that I'm like, what the fuck is, why didn't the freaking stepmother just say, this, I'm gonna marry the king? I'm gonna make the king thinks he loves me and marry him, and there we go. It's like, yeah, she didn't think big, and that's the sucky part. It's like that's the part where it's like this could have been a better movie. And if you would have done these steps, Disney, you would have a movie I would basically be dying to go and find. Given almost like finding a thrift store for $3. But even so, it's like, but this would be the movie. I'm like, dude, I will definitely need to keep this movie because you have to stepmother decide and be like, this, I'm gonna marry the king. Number two, the oh yeah, if she did go back in time, it's like if she did go back in time and screw over Cinderella as well, then that means trying to marry the king. She also will have to go against the fairy godmother, which will be a magic battle between two, which would be kind of freaking damn awesome. So the good news is that this movie was pretty damn awesome. The bad news is that it could have been even better, especially if this was actually really Cinderella 2. And you could have done that as well if you were cool enough to be like, just say Cinderella A Wrinkle in Time or some kind of crap like that. It's like, yeah, don't put Cinderella 3, just say Cinderella blah 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 blah. So it'd be like, well, which one is it? Is it Cinderella 2 da 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 or Cinderella Wrinkle in Time? And it'd be like, yeah, there you go. Now you have a choice of which one do you want as a sequel instead of being like, this is Cinderella 3. It's like, you guys are idiots. And for right now, as I can figure, it seems that there was no real, we made a mistake because you did one in 2002 and you did one in 2007. That's a 5 year gap. How the frick can you actually have made a mistake within a 2002 where it's like, oh, we have two movies. And it's like, oh, we did the wrong movie. It's like, yeah. And now you're going to wait 5 years to give us the right movie. But I'm pretty sure this is not even an error. This was just Disney being kind of stupid at that point where you're like, we want more money, and they couldn't actually wait for a good story to come by, so they basically did this crap. Anyways, yeah, thank you for watching. Tell me what you think. If you guys saw Cinderella 3, what do you think? Do you actually think that Cinderella 3, this is my thought, that Cinderella 3 is the return of Jafar? I pretty much think so. I actually was waiting to watch this movie, and the good news, it did pay off, but the sad news is by 10%, it could have been even better. It would have been 5% if I didn't even watch Cinderella 2, but hey, I forgot which one it was, so damn you. Oh, yeah, and note when they were doing the end credits, they actually hint and mentioned the fact of Anastasia actually saw a baker. And that's the same baker from the second movie, so you kind of screwed yourself even more. I don't really know. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure if things, I don't know. It's hard to freaking understand. It really is.